Two Kids and a Career is a production of Jill Devine Media.
Food brings people together, which is obviously the perfect name for the cookbook, but it does. And then when you are confident in it and you feel good doing it, it's just, I don't know.
And we should give a sneak peek. You shared your pico de gallo recipe with Holly, which is something you have perfected. So I'm super excited for that.
It's super easy and like totally basic, but
it's so good.
Wait, you made it, Holly?
I made it when she first sent it. I'm like, I got to try it. I have to see if it's cookbook worthy. And it is. It definitely is.
Two Kids and a Career is brought to you by Blondin Real Estate. They're a family-owned boutique-style brokerage with over 40 years of experience serving the counties that surround St. Louis. See the properties they have to offer at blondinrealestate.com. That's blondinrealestate.com. Hi there, and welcome to Two Kids and a Career. I'm Jill Devine. As an entrepreneur, wife, and mama, the daily grind of trying to build a business while taking care of kids and trying to maintain a healthy connection with my hubby, it's a lot. With this podcast, you're going to hear candid conversations with other moms, parenting experts who can share their knowledge and insight, or you'll just hear me rambling to get it all out. There's going to be tears, there's going to be laughter, but most importantly, there will be support. Take a listen and connect with me so we can grow and learn from one another. This is Two Kids and a Career. Happy New Year! It's 2021, and unfortunately, there's still some stuff that's lingered, and we're going to have to get through it. But I hope that 2021 provides a lot of perspective for individuals, and it really makes you appreciate life even more. So I hope you had a great holiday season, and thank you for coming back after a 2-week break. I am just giddy about my first 2 guests on the episode today. Before I introduce them, remind you that the Supermom Shoutout is still happening. It'll be at the end of this episode, and you'll get details on how you can nominate a supermom. So make sure you stick around for that. But a couple supermoms joining me today. And again, my first, not that I haven't had multiple guests before, but first virtual multiple guests. I have Holly and Meg joining me, and they are the Messy Mommies. The Messy Mommies in the city. I mean, well, first of all, hi, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
We're so excited.
I'm so excited. I will say that these 2 women have been supporting me from day one, and we don't even know each other.
Right? It's so fun. We've been social media friends, and now here we're all together. It's so great.
I want to tell the background on how we got connected, but first we should probably get the background on the 2 of you and how all of this formed and started. So Meg, do you want to get it started, or Holly, do you? I'm going to let you 2 decide.
All right. Well, this is Meg, and we are so excited to be talking with you, Jill. This is so great. So Holly and I have been besties. We've known each other since high school and went to college together, and we're sorority sisters. And then she married my twin brother, Matt, and we are family and best friends. Right? It's so great. So we've been together forever, and Holly knows our family. We are storytellers. I get it from my dad, and we love to share stories and bring people together. And so we created the blog a few years ago. Holly and I love community and supporting women and helping talk about great things that are happening and really sharing positive support and energy, which is what you do too, Jill. And so we've expanded through events. We'll talk about our Girls Night In and Holly's cookbook, but it's been so great doing this together. And we have a couple other great friends, Kimmy and Brooke, that write with us as well. But it's really fantastic. And then I have twin daughters, Sophia and Stella, and my husband, Tony. And we have a dog, Rocky. And Holly, how about you?
Oh my gosh, Meg, you're amazing. Jill, I have to say that Meg is the brainchild of the Messy Mommies in the city. And of course, when she brought it up, I'm like, yes, I am going to be a part of it. So that's amazing.
Who's calling you?
I don't know who was calling me. I'm sorry. Somebody's always calling, but it's,
that's life.
That's messy life.
It is messy. But I just had the privilege to have Meg as my friend forever. And like she said, we've been together just having a great time. And this Messy Mommies project has just turned into such a wonderful way for us to connect with other amazing moms and women. And it's just awesome. And so, like she said, I married her twin brother, but it all started when I first met her mother. I used to work for her mom. So that is just crazy. And then Matt and I have an amazing teenage daughter named Eleonora. And
Ginger.
Yeah. And Ginger, the little, I call her a puppy, but she's almost 3. So
how old are your kiddos, Meg?
They are twins and they are 8, almost 9.
Okay.
And you have little ones, so we kind of span the region among the 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And we used to have a dog named Rocky. That was our first dog.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
We're so connected.
We are so connected. And let's drop the bomb on the listener that you guys live in Chicago. You're not even in the St. Louis area.
No.
And that's what made this even more exciting for me. So born and raised for both of you?
So I grew up in Joliet, and then Holly was in Plainfield, and then we both lived in the city when we started the blog, and then I have moved back to the suburbs, but Holly's still in the city, and we just love bringing people together in the Chicagoland area. And one of the things, Jill, I've loved about our social media collaborations and how we support each other is that we hear about great things in the St. Louis area, and then you help share what's happening in Chicago, and I think that's one of the best things about how we all connect online.
Well, so many people from St. Louis go and visit Chicago. And I think maybe, I don't know, is it the same for Chicago to come to St. Louis, especially because of our baseball rivalry?
Definitely.
Right? That's a big thing. Although sadly, baseball was not as prominent this year.
Right.
But yes, I mean, St. Louis is definitely a destination. And our, Meg's oldest brother actually lives down in Springfield, Illinois.
Oh.
And our nephew went to school that way.
They're often in St. Louis. All the restaurants, the great food.
Yep.
And I feel St. Louisans feel that way about Chicago. I mean, you have some darn good restaurants there as well. And it's really great because this collaboration, again, and just knowing one another is good on so many levels. For example, maybe you two know someone that wants to move to St. Louis, or I know someone who wants to move to Chicago, and I'm sure you have a real estate agency that you would recommend, just like I would recommend Blondin Real Estate for anyone wanting to move to the St. Louis area. They're a small business that has been supporting me from the beginning. And the reason why I love Blondin Real Estate, and I talk about this all the time with everything. You have choices. They know this area. So they can tell you exactly where you should go if you're wanting to have some added land, or you want to be close to the city yet far away. Or let's say you, I don't know, you like to collect cars and you need a home with multiple garages. That's what Blondin Real Estate does. They go out, they survey the area, and they make sure that they can present you with all of your options. It's kind of like an a la carte menu where you say, okay, this is what I would like, and this is what I like. They're not cookie cutter. They actually know where to go. So, ladies, if you have anyone that's interested in moving to the St. Louis area, I recommend Blondin Real Estate, and you can have them go to blondinrealestate.com, blondinrealestate.com. And I know that you two would share a real estate agency, like I said before, that would be beneficial for people to move to Chicago. That's what it's about, highlighting and sharing these different small businesses so everyone can benefit.
Well, and that's what's been so great about your small business shout outs, Jill. It's been so fun seeing how you support small businesses. And I love seeing all your posts and then checking out like what those products are and the story behind those companies. It's really fantastic how you're cheering on so many people.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of one of the missions that I had especially for the holiday season. I wanted to shop small. I've always loved shopping small and supporting small businesses. And I'm just as guilty as the rest when sometimes you just want to, convenience takes over. And I think what just really hit me was just seeing how many businesses did close because of the pandemic.
Right.
And while shopping small is important all the time, it really opened my eyes when I saw how many people were struggling and hearing their stories.
Right.
And that's when I was just doing this huge initiative to say, hey, let's shop small. And then even just in the things that I'm trying to do for the church that I'm working for, like I just want to bring local in there. And
Right.
it's just been so, the individuals that have responded that own those small businesses, the kindness
Right.
and the love, it's like, you know, I think some people think I'm guilty of this too. Like, okay, what's their agenda? What are they
Right.
trying to do? And it's nice when like people realize like I don't have an agenda. I just want to help
Right.
you. I
Right.
just I just want to help you. And that to me is so huge and so big.
Well, and it's someone's dream, and I think that's what's so exciting, and it like, something as simple as sharing someone's post on Instagram or writing comments on Facebook and encouraging others to visit, it can make a difference, and you're helping support someone's dream, and this year has been so brutal. Holly has been amazing with Candyality. Holly, you should talk about that, like, how you've helped champion Candyality in Chicago. It's such a great local candy store.
Oh my gosh. Well, so Candyality is owned by our neighbor, Therese, and she had many locations over the years, but in 2020, she ended up having to close a couple of the shops. And she's still going strong this year, though, and has her little store on Southport. But it's the candy shop that you walk into with a quarter as a kid, and can pick up a sweet treat. And she is just amazing. But I see her when she's out walking her dog, and she'll tear up because she just the hardship of the year of the pandemic really kind of crushed her business, but because it's candy and candy makes people happy, she
Yeah.
Right.
is forging ahead. So I'm hoping for her in 2021 that she has an outstanding year, and that her little shop on Southport Avenue can maintain the business.
And I want to make sure that we will get all of the details about these different businesses on the show notes at jilldevine.com, so that if you are in the Chicago area, and even you don't even have to be, you can purchase online to some of these places, that you go and check them out. And I guess, and what's also kind of, I don't know, new to me, I'm trying to word this correctly, but I'm trying to embrace the idea that I am an entrepreneur, that I'm a small business owner, although it doesn't feel that way because I'm not necessarily selling anything, so to
Right.
speak. And so like sometimes when I have people like you or other small business owners say, okay, I'm going to support you and I need you to give me this, this, and this. I'm like, well, I don't know how, what do you mean? And then I'm like, okay, wait, yes, my podcast is a business
Yes.
and things are developing out of it. And so I guess maybe I didn't know when I started this push for small businesses, that was also within my soul to
Yes.
grow what I am.
Yes. Well, you inspire people and you bring that hope and joy. And what I love too, Jill, is that I think this is why Holly, you and I are so kindred, is like life is messy and sometimes like it's just in the middle, as you say, figuring out like, okay, how are we going to find a small moment and make it something special? How are we going to do something to bring joy to our family while we're staying home, as 2020 was? And how do we find some greatness in 2021? So it's just really exciting, everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. I want to talk about how this connection all started. So when I first started my podcast, and it was May of 2019. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, I started when I got back from maternity leave. So I started my podcast. It had, I actually, and I've explained this in the launch episode, started developing the idea and coming up with the idea and really crafting it when I was pregnant with my second, and she just turned 2. But the idea really started when I was on maternity leave with my first, who is 4. So I launched this, and it was done through the radio station that I worked for. And I saw on Twitter that someone had tagged me and included me in an article. And I clicked and it was Messy Mommies in the City. And I'm like, these two women from Chicago found my podcast and I just was starting. And that's really when it hit me like, oh, Jill, keep going.
Oh, that's so
Oh my
great.
gosh. And it also started and I think didn't see it right then, but it also started the whole women supporting women movement. And I was like, how amazing that these women decided to share something about me and like what I was like, my little podcast, which I still feel that way.
Oh,
And so that was big. Thank you.
oh, that's so great. Well, I remember because it was Kat and Nat, and you had interviewed
Yes.
them for the podcast, and they were in St. Louis before they came to Joliet, and we were so excited because we had listened to them, and they're so funny.
So
And
funny.
and I think what they share, like what Holly and I talk about all the time, is how do we bring people together, whether it was like 2020 doing it virtually with our Girls Night In, or whether it's in person, and it's bringing people together for that sense of community, to laugh, to know that we're all in this together. We're going through similar things, regardless of our kids' ages, work, life, everything. And if we can bring people together to bring some cheer, whether it's through a cocktail or a Zoom or an in-person event or a cookbook, we just love that. Just love it. And so that's so great. I'm so glad. I remember when we were writing that and we just loved your podcast, and you were so funny. They were so funny. It was great.
If you don't follow Kat and Nat, you need to do so. Like if there's any two moms that keep it real. And I love what they're doing with their daughters. I
Right.
don't know enough about it yet, but like basically the two daughters, they have teamed up to do a clothing line, but
Yeah.
they're really big into making sure that it's not about sizes. Do you know more about it than I do? I just know it's a really cool concept.
Well, I think they're trying to bring it that whole entrepreneurial spirit, and they're so good about talking about body image and the need to
Yes.
be confident in who you are, no matter like, and celebrate the way you are as you are. And so I think it's really fantastic that they're recognizing those conversations need to happen with your kids as well as with your girlfriends.
Do you want to tell me, ladies, a little bit about what's happening with Messy Mommies in the city 2021 and some of the stuff that you are looking to do or want to do?
So you need to join us for our next Girls Night In. Holly and
Okay.
it's amazing. Holly, what was it, back in August when I think we first started talking about it, like in the midst of the pandemic and being staying home? Does that sound right, Holly?
Yeah, I think it was August, and we were very excited and nervous at the same time because we were, trying to figure out how to put it out there and get other ladies involved. So we started small, but it's grown. Meg, do you want to talk about one of our most successful ones? I think was in November. I think that's when we finally realized, wow, it's taken off here.
So we recognize that even if it's a pandemic, even if it's over Zoom, girls just want to connect. And it's like, this has just been 2020 was such a trudge of a year, and people just wanted to escape, even if it was for an hour over Zoom. And so we started in September, and then we went October, November. And as Holly said, November was such a great, it was our Glam Girls Night In, and we're bringing in other girls that are entrepreneurs. Our friend is Sandhya Nair. She's a fashion designer, and she shared tips on how to accessorize even if you're staying home for the holidays. And another dear friend, Colleen Krause, she shared about lashes and makeup. And Holly always does a signature cocktail and recipes, and our friend Treva. But Jill, we had 23 people on our Zoom from 14 different cities across the nation. And it was so much fun. And what's really been fabulous is we know that everyone needs a drink right now because it's been such a crazy time during the pandemic.
Yes.
And social media is so great. For our September Girls Night In, we reached out to On the Rocks Cocktails, which is a great newer company where they make ready to pour cocktails. We reached out to them to see if they would do a video for our Messy Mommies Girls Night In. And the co-founder and their social media gal did great videos for us, talked about the drinks, wished us all cheers, told us about how their cocktails are in Bora Bora. We all want to go there now.
Yeah.
And then Jill, for November, we reached out to Evan and Andrew, who created the Hallmark Channel wines and asked if they would do a video for us. And they said yes. It was phenomenal. And so Hallmark Channel Wines did a video for us. And it's just been really great to see how small businesses want to be a part of supporting women in our Girls' Night In. And so we're really excited for 2021 that we know we're going to continue having virtual events in the beginning of the year, but then we really hope we can bring people together in person for some great evenings of chat and cheers and being together.
When is the next Girls' Night In?
So we've been doing them on Thursdays. Typically, they're the third Thursday of the month. And so we will make sure we get you the details for the show notes on the next one. But they're really fun, whether it's virtual or our in-person events are going to be fantastic too.
I love this. I love this. Okay, so we have Girls' Night In. What else is happening with you all?
Well, we know you love to cook from your blog. So Holly, you got to talk about what's going on in the kitchen.
Cook and drink, Holly.
Right?
Right? I know. I don't know why I'm so focused on the cocktails now, but
that's a whole nother episode.
Right?
As we talk about the kids.
Yeah. Well, so last year, no, not last year. It seems just like yesterday, but it was in 2019. I had a self-published cookbook that I put out, and it's called Together, Recipes to Bring Family and Friends to the Table. And I realized that during the pandemic last year, you would see it on any television channel that you turned on. Everybody was doing some type of cooking show or segment, whether it be on the news or anything. So anyway, I realized people were at home trying out new recipes, and I really wanted to put another cookbook together. And I have the title for it. It's called Together Again. My goal is to have it published this year, and that when people can actually get together again, that they will use some of the recipes in this cookbook. And we've put it out there to other people who follow us on our blog. And I've gotten many recipes from people with short stories on how they became, a part of their meal making, over the pandemic. And it's just really sweet to see what people have started making at home and how they've turned what was a horrible year for many. They found sweet moments in the year in the kitchen and sharing food together with their family. So I'm really excited about the concept of it and pulling it together. So Together Again should be available at some point this year.
I love it so much. And if you have, and I know you two have, paid attention to my podcast episodes, you've probably realized, I joke around, I'm not a cook. It's not a joke, actually. Which, side note, our family loves to watch Family Feud at dinner. And so the other night there was, when they go to, what is it even called? It's not the bonus round, but you know what I'm talking about.
The final round. Right.
Yeah. So survey says whatever. And so the question was, it was a husband and wife. And so the husband went first. And I think the question was along the lines of, what would your wife be better at if she had lessons? And this is so random that I'm bringing this up. And then the husband, and again, I think that I can play that game, but in the moment I would probably blank or say something stupid like this man did. Right. And the man goes, sex. And you could see Steve Harvey oh dude, what did you just say? And so then even when he turned around and Steve was getting ready to start the guy, you could just see he's like, oh God,
right,
because his wife is going after him. So Steve is laughing and making fun of him, and they have this big thing. And so she comes on and she's asks the same question. And of course she says exactly what I say. She says cooking. And so they turn around and Steve just lets her he doesn't say anything because he wants her to see what the answer is, because she can now, you can see the answer, and you can see her just kind of looking, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, and he goes, yeah, that's what your husband said. And I mean, it was just hilarious. This is so random. But again, cooking lessons. Yes. If I have always joked that I'm not a cook, but I love food and I appreciate food.
Right.
And I think it's so beautiful. And I am the type of person who, my downfall is I like to follow a recipe and I
Right.
don't have a lot of confidence in the kitchen. But when something comes together and it's amazing, like I do need I've found that I need the response of my husband or whoever is, having my cooking. Like I need you to affirm that it's good in order for me to feel good. I don't want you to
Right.
lie to me, but I will constantly ask, "So what do you think?" Like,
Right.
I'm not confident in just serving a plate and I know that everybody will love it. Well, anyway, that is one thing that I have been proud of, and I think part of it is that I have been able to be home more.
Right.
When you work a job that doesn't get you home until 6 o'clock at night, and then you only have a couple hours with your kids, the last thing you want to do is cook. So I I see what you were doing there, Holly, too, with coming together because it's forced me to be in the kitchen more, but I've enjoyed some of it and I've enjoyed being able to experiment and
And you've
try
been cooking with your kids.
Yes, and involving them, like, I know I'm not patient at all with that's
It's
hard.
messy. It's messy. That's what we
Yes,
talk
it's
about.
very
It's
messy.
messy.
I probably shouldn't be learning how to cook and trying to teach my 4-year-old at the same time, but anyway, it food brings people together, which is obviously the perfect name for the cookbook, but it does, and then when you
Right.
are confident in it and you feel good doing it, it's just I
Well,
don't
and
know.
we should give a sneak peek. You shared your pico de gallo recipe
Yeah.
with Holly, which is something you have perfected. So I'm
It
super
is. I mean,
excited for that.
it's super easy and, like,
I made
totally
it.
basic,
It's
but
so good.
Wait, you
It's
made it,
so
Holly?
good. I made it. I made it when she first
Yay!
sent it. I'm like, I gotta try it. I have to see if it's cookbook worthy, and it is. It definitely is.
One of the things I think also that is really great about Holly capturing this pandemic year, I don't know about you, Jill, but Holly and I have talked like, how are we capturing moments that are happening right now? Like we just did outdoor socially distanced pictures with Santa back in December because with masks on, because we wanted to capture those moments for our kids. And so when we think back to this crazy year of the pandemic, like how will our kids remember this and what are lessons that we can learn from it? So Holly's cookbook, like 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I think will also be really just so special to have, like, because it will help us relive how we all made it through 2020.
Yep, and so when I, purchased that cookbook and I have it there and I can see my name next to my recipe, like,
Right?
that is the time where I'm like, "Okay, that's when I made 20,000 batches of pico, and I finally can get it, and I got it, and I know what to do." Tell me you're making, well, like, I love spicy margaritas, like, Holly, match that up with the spicy margarita, please.
Oh, easily. We could totally do that.
I
It's
know,
so
Holly, we might need
funny
to
with these
expand your cocktail
cocktails.
section.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna
know,
say, twist your arm, right?
right? We could easily do that. I still need to get my brother-in-law's bourbon slushies.
Oh,
So
right.
that is
Ooh.
another feature that will be in together again. So that's a good cocktail. But we will definitely work on a margarita. Who doesn't love a margarita?
No kidding, no kidding.
Okay, so Jill, on that, we also need to share, we've been following recently King Street Vodka. Kate Hudson has a vodka that came out in 2019, and it's the cutest story about bringing girlfriends together, and it's a female-owned small business. And so we
Ooh.
discovered that last year during the holidays, and it's super cute. So we need to share that with you as well because she's
Yes.
such a great mom and such a great entrepreneur, and it's just a really cute story behind her cocktail, her vodka as well. And so as we keep
And
talking about cocktails.
I love vodka, so that's that's
Oh,
actually my preferred well, like, vodka and wine, and then only tequila and margaritas. So, yes, yes, I can't wait to look at that a little bit more.
yeah, check it
Yes.
out.
I know we don't have a ton of time together, so I know that you're definitely gonna both of you will have to be back on. That's gonna be amazing. I would love for you 2 to just maybe be recurring guests because you do
We would
have so
love
many
it.
great things. And like, again, traveling to Chicago
Yes.
and when things are open back up, we'll have some great things to share with one another. But
We can do an event together. That would be super fun.
Well,
We
that
could
would be
co-do an
super
event
fun.
together in Chicago. That would be amazing.
I'm
That would
in.
be.
I'm in. I'm so in.
Oh my God, the hook could be like when we do it around baseball. So when all those St. Louis
Yes.
fans are coming up,
Oh,
we can
yeah.
do some type of girls cocktail event, super fun with the moms.
And we have so many awesome people. Like I'm going to mention Addie's Way. She does this amazing jewelry and apparel, and she has the cutest. She and this is how I found it. When the St. Louis Blues was that the year or the year before? Not the year that they won the Stanley Cup. It might have been the year before. I saw somebody wearing these really cute earrings. They're very light because she like cuts them out of leather.
Oh, wow.
And she had some baseball ones that just were white, like teardrops, and they had the red stitching. But then she also had some for the St. Louis Cardinals and then for the St. Louis Blues. Cutest things like that. Like we could get her involved
Oh,
and
that'd be
have
great.
her do apparel. Like that's the thing. Like this is what
Right?
I'm talking about. This
Bringing
is
people together.
yes. Yes. Somebody they're
So
listening right now
awesome.
like okay, ladies, we're glad you're brainstorming. So just let us
Well, I'm sure everyone's like, these gals all have so much fun together. We got to get with them. We got to meet them in person.
Right. And they're going to hear it and they're going to be like, wait, I have something to contribute. And so
Yes.
what they do, they need to reach out to us because this will be an amazing event.
Yes. And we'll all drink King Street vodka.
Yes. Yes. I just keep saying yes, yes. And that's the thing is like, this isn't a competition to where we can't have another jeweler like Lisa, the owner
Right.
of Addie's Way. She would be like, yeah, let's bring another
Right.
person on so
More.
we can
Right.
all support one another. And that's what
Oh,
I
love
love.
that.
I want to just kind of get you two are just, and I know you have your dark days too, but you seem just so positive about your business and what you are doing. And I think I'm trying to focus now too on women who are starting their business and even me when there's days that I'm like, I can't do it. Like the advice that you have or the story or testimony that you have that makes you know that you're in the right place for you.
So I love that, Jill. So from my perspective is like we were very intentional about using the word messy when we created the blog and our community because we know like you can look on social media and life can seem so perfect. And 2020 has shown that there are a lot of imperfections, but no matter what, life is going to be messy. So if you're okay with that and then look for the joy and how you can help support others, like that helps lift your own spirit. And I think that's what's been great for Holly and I. Like we talk back and forth all day long. And if one of us is down, the other helps lift the other up. But we feel that way as we've reached out to people for our girls' night in. Like people are just so excited and they want something to look forward to. Just as you said, they want to be around that positiveness and like that togetherness. And so that's what keeps me grounded during tough days. Holly, how about you?
I totally agree. I mean, I think the idea about togetherness is huge and what drives this. And most importantly, I think as we've moved forward and made our plan, the girls' night in, the ones that we've hosted so far, the guests that show up and say, "Oh, I really needed this," or "I
Right.
thought we were just going to talk about mom stuff," and then they realize it's not about being a mom. It's about being a woman, and it's about trying to make it through tough days and great days and celebrate and realize that every day is a gift.
Right.
And if you can be together with someone, whether it's in person or virtually or on a phone call, that's important. And that's what we need to do. And we need to stick together because I mean, there's tough days as a mom. There's tough days, when you're working. And we're trying to stay positive and keep going because you get one go around at it. And I think if you're together with others, it's better that way.
Life is not meant to be spent alone.
Right.
And I wish I could take credit for saying that. And this is a whole nother episode. But as I explained in my last episode of 2020, one of the things that happened to me in the year was I have always expressed an interest in growing my faith. And I don't even know how. Well, I do know how. It's God. I ended up being able to start working for my church in this setting for community groups. And as I explained, community groups they're not Bible studies. They're not support systems. It's community. And you learn about others and you support others' dreams. I just said it's not a support system, but I think you understand what I'm saying. But you also grow spiritually, you grow relationally. And that's what some of our lead pastors say. Like, Jesus says it right there. This is that life is not meant to be spent alone. Like, you cannot thrive. You cannot be the best version of yourself. And it's just having people in your life to support you and to lift you up. That's all that you need. That's what it's all about.
Agree.
Beautifully said.
Amen. Amen to that. I guess that's when we drop the mic, right, ladies? And we say, until next time.
Right.
This week's Supermom Shoutout is going to Rachel. Rachel is a teacher at Twin Chimneys, and she was nominated by a parent. That parent, Wendi. So Wendy's daughter is in Rachel's class, and Wendi said that Rachel is amazing. She's taught for about 20 years. She has a husband, 3 daughters, 2 dogs, her master's, and she is also one of the coaches for the varsity dance team. Wendi says Rachel is a super mom, the best teacher that we have had so far. She created a whole separate 2-week plan for our daughter because there was a positive exposure on the bus. Rachel is one of the best. She is definitely a super mom to me. She's an awesome person and an awesome educator. Rachel, I see you and I support you. It's so easy to nominate a supermom, that special supermom in your life. All you have to do is email me, hello@jilldevine.com. Tell me her name, where she's from, and why you're nominating her. And thank you for listening to 2 Kids in a Career. It means so much to me. I am absolutely just floored at the amount of support that I have, and I just can't thank you enough. You can show a little extra love if you're feeling it by subscribing to the podcast, liking it, even reviewing it, and of course, telling your friends and family. I won't be mad about that. Also, follow along online, JillDevine.com, and on Instagram @JillDevine. Thank you again for listening to 2 Kids and a Career.